ship, it destroys people. Pippa Walsh was my sister. And the only way of getting to the truth is by investigating for myself.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I'm so excited to talk to you. I'm so excited to talk about Rec. I'm a huge horror nerd, so this is like perfect for me. I've seen the first
I'm sure you'll love it.
Oh yeah, I've seen the first 2 episodes and I'm completely hooked already. I cannot wait to see what happens next. So we've gotten some glimpses of your character, Rosie. But she's still pretty mysterious. What can you tell me about her?
So yeah, she is a Cher impersonator on the ship. So I'm sure you've seen some pretty iconic outfits. She just kind of appears here and there in these different Cher looks, which is just amazing in itself. And she kind of comes more into it as the story unfolds and gets in with the gang to find out what's happening on the ship. And she finds out that her boyfriend is on the ship, so that's a shock to her. But no, you see her character really come to light in the latter episodes, and it shows her more like feisty side, which you'll see.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah, as you mentioned, she's a Cher impersonator. And the first time we see her, she is in full Bob Mackie Cher. And I understand you're a big fan. I mean, who isn't, right? Can you talk a little bit about that experience of getting to
so that was amazing. So when I first got the character brief through, I like connected to the character so much. It was amazing. She was like feisty, she was independent, she was just everything that I kind of saw in myself as well. And then when I saw that she was a Cher impersonator, I was like, oh my gosh, I need this role. And so getting into the costumes was so fun. And I tell you what, one of the costume designers worked on the set of Mamma Mia 2. And I actually wore shoes that Cher wore.
Oh my God.
I embodied Cher. It was insane.
You literally got to walk a mile in her shoes. That's amazing. So I understand you do a fair Cher impression. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but if you wanted to do a Cher impression, I would not be bummed.
Oh my gosh, everyone is saying this now. Honestly, I would, but I need the long black locks.
Yeah,
I'm not in my Cher fantasy right now.
Yeah. Fair enough. So one of the things I really liked about it so far is that there's such a great balance of horror and comedy. It's very funny, but then the like kind of slashery scenes are very scary and very stalkery and bloody. Are you a fan of the horror genre? Is that something you enjoy?
I tell you what, I love a good horror film, and I've always been obsessed with like scary movies. So to have our own like kind of comedy horror like series, it was amazing to be a part of. But yeah, it was scary on set, I tell you that for free. Like this set was so realistic, and like the blood, the gore. Have you seen Quacky yet?
Yes.
The big 6-foot dog.
Yes.
So that was scary. But no, I've always been a fan of it, so it was so fun to be a part of.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's talk about Quacky. What was it like? I mean, it's scary on the screen to see like a big scary mascot like that. What is it like to act against Ducky? Like, what did you feel the first time you were face to bill with Ducky?
Oh my gosh! So I can't spoil it, but I knew who was inside the mascot, so that kind of took the scariness away. But they were like 6'5" tall. Like I'm 5'10". I was pretty tall, but it was intimidating. But I always get so scared in interviews now because they always bring this mascot like secretly to interviews, and you just turn around and he's there.
What?
I know. So I'm on edge right now, even in my own home. I'm like, oh my gosh, is he going to jump out? But you never know.
I promise I do not have a Ducky. I'm a little sad because it's such a cool thing. I would totally want to put it in like my horror tchotchke room for sure. It's very iconic. Awesome. Okay, so you said you like scary movies, and this is something that I think about a lot, and I wonder, I'd love to hear your take on it, which is, why do you think it is that queer folks, trans folks are drawn to the horror genre? What is it that you think speaks to us so much about it?
Do you know what it is for me? I think queer people have such a connection who like scary movies is because they can relate to the fight that the characters have to go through in these scenes, and it's a fight which most people can relate to as a queer person, that they have to go through themselves in life, which is unfair, but they kind of have like such a resilience, like, do you know, the iconic people that like stand up to the baddie, like there's such a power about them. And I think a lot of people see themselves in these characters and this kind of scary genre, because in reality it's some people's lives.
God, that's so true. That is so true. What I love is a lot of times that's like kind of, you know, subtextual, right? Like we find ourselves places, but this show is so queer. There's so many queer characters. How is it to get to be a part of a show like that, which is so queer?
Honestly, it was amazing for me as a trans woman as well. And Rosie herself is trans. But what I loved about the character of Rosie is it's never spoken about. These people just kind of exist like how they are and live authentically who they are. And that's what I think that we should take in today's society. Like all these people are just trying to exist, like without all these labels and like judgments upon them. And it really doesn't focus on the trauma of like queer life and their livelihoods. It just focuses on them. You get to know them face front value, stripped from the labels. And they've got bigger things to worry about on this ship, to say the least.
That is so true. And that is something I was noticing. I wasn't sure because we haven't really gotten any time with Rosie, but I did note that like it hasn't been talked about yet. So I wasn't really sure what her identity, her gender identity was. But it's true of the other characters where there is not a lot of shame or a lot of discussion around their queerness. Like it's present, but it's not necessarily a plot point, which I thought was cool. And it feels quietly revolutionary to me too, that the first things we learn about Rosie is not about her gender identity. She's just a person. And I just love that about the show. Do you feel, as a trans actor, this is such a cool, like queer show, but do you feel like things are changing, like in terms of opportunities for trans actors?
I think definitely, slowly but surely, like you see in programs like Heartstopper and Euphoria, where they have these amazing trans characters, which I never had when I was growing up. So I think we're definitely moving forward. But like I say, the trans community is under attack literally every single day. So it's draining. It's draining. It really is to kind of just exist nowadays. But you just got to look to the future and remember who you are and why you do what you do. And not let the fears and judgments of others like hold you back from being who you are at the end of the day. Yeah,
100%. And I think you touched on something important there, which is that like trans characters didn't really exist on TV, or when they did, it was like a character of the week or something. Is that something you reflect on, that you are kind of getting to be the sort of representation that you always needed when you were growing up?
It's amazing to kind of see myself in this role, and I think it would have meant so much to me seeing a character like Rosa when I was growing up. So to have the opportunity to kind of be that person that people may one day look up to, it means the world to me. It really does.
That's so amazing, and I'm sure it means so much to kids, like so much to kids to see that. So this is a strange transition, but you know, life on a boat, like on the show, is very contained, as is life on a set, I would imagine. I would love to know about the kind of like rapport that you have on set. Hopefully there's no hazing, no fish kissing. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Wait, I'm sorry. What do those words mean?
Like rapport, like in terms of like the friendships that you have and the vibe that you have with your co-stars.
Okay. Oh my gosh, no. So I was literally fresh out of drama school, just graduated and went straight into this. So I was terrified. Like I trained in musical theatre as well, so I had no idea like being on screen. So it was such like a learning curve for me, and to be surrounded by the most amazing cast ever. Like it was such a safe space, and we literally got on like family. It was crazy. And I still speak to them and see them like every day now. So yeah, it was the best environment to be a part of.
Oh, I love that so much. I feel like it kind of comes through, like you can feel like the joy behind the screen in the humor and in the chemistry between all of the actors. And I cannot wait to see how Rosie fits into all of that.
It was just heightened, even like when the cameras were off, like behind set. It was insane.
I love it. Do you have any other new sort of exciting projects on the horizon that we can be looking forward to?
Well, season 2 is happening and we're going over there 2 months today. We start filming. So that's exciting. I know. I can't wait to be back over there and see where the story goes in season 2.
All right. Well, that's a good transition to my last question, which is I know you can't spoil things, but what can you tease for fans who are checking this out that they can expect from Rosie this season?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've actually not got the scripts through yet, but from Ryan, the creator, I know it's going to be bloodier, it's going to be queerer, and it's just going to be literally an elevated kind of season 1. So
that is,
but I do think it gets mentioned that Rosie's trans in season 2, which I think would be great for the trans community. Like any kind of exposure is good exposure, and just to show that we're here, we're queer, and we're doing it.
I love it. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. Like I said from the top, I'm already obsessed with Brack. I'm so excited to hear that there's going to be a season 2 because I think people are going to absolutely love it. It's hilarious, it's scary, and you are fantastic in it. And those costumes, perfection.
Thank you.